India on the west coast, excuse me, the east coast, after the tsunami hit Gulfport and Biloxi, Mississippi after Katrina. Spent actually a whole month there. Our school was fairly new at that point. We had our first, that August when Katrina hit, our first set of third years were going out on their first rotation in September. And the dean looked at everybody's schedules and offered to about 28 of the students who were doing family practice or world family practice, and said, if you want to come, you may, and you'll get credit for this block, this rotation this way. And they were actually, by the 3rd of September, were in Biloxi and Gulfport before the electricity was restored, the water was restored, and we spent, along with the dean and some more faculty, a whole month there. They were actually living in parking lots when they first arrived. The Virginia Tech tragedy, we were involved, and also Missouri flood creek, and then Virginia tornado cleanup. That was last year. Look for a diverse population. We have actually been voted the last 3 years by the Hispanic Business magazine as one of the top 10 medical schools for Hispanic students. We support our Hispanic different ethnic groups at VCOM. VCOM does research too. That's something a lot of osteopathic schools have not done in the past, more are doing so. And we do a lot of different research. If as a student you want to be involved in that, a lot of students think when they come in that they're going to do that while they're going to school, and some do, but it's a pretty tough road to hoe. So what a lot of the faculty do is ask, like in the spring, if anybody wants to help with working on a project, just let them know, and they'll put together a project that they can do during the summer.
Is this like a DO PhD program?
We offer, and I'll go into that more, but we offer a lot of combined degrees. This would just be doing research to help the faculty and getting your name published. Sports medicine, that's Dr. Rawlinson there, working on a hooky. That's probably a bad thing to say around here. But we're pretty proud of him. And Dr. Rawlinson is the team physician for the Virginia Tech hockey football team. He is doing research right now with them, with monitors in their helmet, measuring the blows to the head, the concussions. Tebow probably could have used Dr. Rawlinson, and would have been great as a research subject for him. I saw a photograph in the paper of him after he was being taken off the field. You could just see it in his eyes, just totally blank stare. Didn't know where he was. But our sports medicine program, we have a sports medicine fellowship. We also have a sports medicine club. And right now for our fellowship, we have 3 fellows in addition to our faculty. And our students can work the high school fairs, the athletic events, and then also at VT athletics, and also Radford University. We have a collaboration with Virginia Tech. We share about 20 faculty members. They have dual appointments with either Virginia Tech or the vet school at Virginia Tech. And collaboration on the research. Our students also get student services. One of the nice things about VCOM is, while we have the agreement with Virginia Tech, we are not exactly on their campus. We are in the corporate research center. It's a 1.5 mile walk to the stadium from our campus. You can join clubs, play intramurals. You can use the War Memorial and the Compass Hall gyms. They have indoor pools, racquetball courts, squash courts, weight rooms, etc. You use the libraries. You also can get theater, art, and athletic tickets in the same manner as the undergrads, which is a lottery system for football and basketball. Most of the students, what we do is we encourage the class as a whole to apply for the lottery. Not everybody wants to go. Any leftover tickets, they go into another lottery for VCOM. So you pretty much get to go anytime you want to. We expect everybody to become Hokies, even as Clemson Tigers. It's pretty, I don't know if anyone's been in Lane Stadium, but it's a dual degrees. We have graduated, I believe it is 18 students that have received the DO PhD. Those were out of our first class. We attempted to do that with the very first class you decide during your third year. We got into some rigmarole and have now revamped it and added some new programs. So the first class had, I believe, 18 people who were getting DO PhDs. The second class had 2 or 3, and then the third class had 2, I believe, and now it's going to start picking up again with new programs. We have the MS, DO PhD, and DO MBA available up through Virginia Tech, the MPH through George Washington University and Johns Hopkins, and the MS of Global Health through Duke. What you do is during your third year, you would then do a few rotations, then go and do your program, then come back during your fourth year, continue with some of the rotations, and then graduate at the fifth year. The PhD, we cannot actually guarantee that you would have that at the end of the fifth year. It depends on your research. But most of those programs can get done in 5 years. The curriculum at VCOM is pretty innovative. I've talked about blocks. Years 1 and 2 are made up of blocks. There are 4 blocks in each of those. The first block in first year is a foundations of medicine and sciences, getting you on an even level playing field, teaching you how to study. You cannot cram like you do in undergrad. There's just too many materials to go over, too many that happen. So start that block 1. Start also with the principles of primary care and LMA. Start doing that. Blocks 2 through 7 are system-based, and each block is a different system or system group. Cardiopulmonary, gastro, renal reproductive, like that. And you learn these sciences and they are layered so that you get somewhat of a repetition about that system from all angles. It makes it a whole lot easier to learn whether you're doing it. And then your very last block is a foundations block, once again, but of the whole review of the whole body, getting you ready for your boards. Blocks are different lengths. Somebody was asking me repeatedly, so how long is a block? Well, depending on what the system is, it depends. It can be anywhere from 6 weeks to 11 weeks. There are breaks after each of those blocks, normally a week to 10 days. As I said earlier, mission trips are done during that. Should you hit a stumbling block and need to remediate, remediations are done during that time. So it's a good time to unwind also, get ready to start the Years 3, you do 9 rotations. You are required to do 1 in each of those specialties. You can see we have sites in Spartanburg, there are sites in Asheville, Fayetteville, and Hendersonville. In North Carolina, sites throughout the state of Virginia, and also there is a site in New Jersey. We have a lot of Pennsylvania students, so they like going back, go north where it's cold.
Can you do your entire 30 rotations at one location, or are they kind of split up?
It depends on what location you're doing it, where you're going. If you were going to Spartanburg, yes, you can do all of them there in Spartanburg. You might have to go a little bit out of Spartanburg to do your rural family medicine rotation, but you will still be able to. In Danville, you can do all of them. That's one of our sites in Virginia. A few of the sites you have to do a couple different things. You might have one that is not really commutable, and so you can just move from them. And VCOM helps with housing and trying to make sure that there's housing. So it does depend on which sites you choose. what happens is that during your second year, in about January, you choose and rank 1, 2, and 3 where you want to go. The majority of the students get their first choice. Almost everyone gets at least their second choice. I've had a few that got their third and have come back to me and are so glad that it's unbelievable. So sometimes things are just meant to be, but we'll work with you. I mean, if you were living in Blacksburg and have a family and children and don't want to be separated from them, we're going to make sure that you're in the New River Valley. You might have to do a lengthy, meaning an hour commute for 1 month, but we'll make it work. So. Want to get back to the South Carolina, we'll try to make it work. Then year 4, you are required to do 2 AOA approved rotations and then 7 others. This is considered your audition rotations, trying to figure out what programs you want to match with. So that's what you do. 2 surgical, 3 medical, and 4 others. Residency placement at VCOM, we have 51% osteopathic residencies. That's a pretty big deal because they are very competitive because there are not as many osteopathic residencies available. And to have 51% is a really big deal. Our students are stacking up great against other students out there. 12% of the students are military so far. We are actually our school has the largest number of Army HBSC scholars east of Mississippi. We have probably somewhere between 22 to 35 students that choose the HBSC scholarship. Does everybody know what that means? No? That's the Health Profession Scholarship Program that the military offers. And if I have used other acronyms, please stop me. I hate them, but you get used to them after a while. The military chooses you, should you be what they want, and they will pay for your school, pay for everything that's required by the school. They will give you a signing bonus. It's pretty substantial. It's just gone up. Not sure exactly what it is, but I counted over 15,000, I believe, signing bonus. And then close to $2,000 or more a month for living expenses. It's a good ride. But you are required to give them a year of service for every year they pay for your school. So that's something we really need to think about. 55% of our students have chosen primary care. We feel there is a real need for primary care physicians, and we encourage that. Primary care includes OB-GYN, peds, family medicine, and internal medicine. Sometimes we sort of lump the ER physicians in there too, but it's not really. VCOM itself has residency programs already in place. We have 4 locally and 3 in Bluefield. Montgomery Regional is about a mile from our school. And in each of those residencies, there are 2 to 4 slots. There are, I imagine there will be more in South Carolina too, once the school is open. So the campus, that building there on top is the main building. The 3rd floor there is where our anatomy lab is. We have a state-of-the-art anatomy lab, and I am assuming that we will in South Carolina also. It is probably the finest in the country, if not the world. Most anatomy labs are in the basement. They're usually dark and they usually stink. You usually know the minute you're on the floor that you are on the floor where the cadavers are. VCOM is not that way. We also have all the lighting, so you have natural light all across the front of the building and then down the side. We have individual cadaver tables with lids on them. Each table has a ventilation